This is the story of the three billy goats Gruff by Lillian's mum. Once upon a time there was a family of three billy goats on a hillside. They were known as the three billy goats Gruff. On occasion they were charming and polite and very helpful to other animals and farmers, but most of the time they were gruff and difficult and nobody got along with them all that well. It turned out that the three billy goats Gruff ended up foraging on the hillside all by themselves because, let's face it, nobody really wanted to hang around with them. Even the fairy wrens were tired of fighting with them over seeds, and the rabbits usually ran and hid when the goats were around. The three billy goats had been eating the grass on the hillside steadily, and there hadn't been much rain, so the bare dirt was starting to show and there were hardly any patches of grass left. The goats began to see more and more dirt patches and less grass, realizing there was really no more grass they could eat. The three billy goats began to feel grumpy and tired, and they were hungry. Having eaten all the grass and quite a few mouthfuls of dirt, they decided they would need to move to a new hillside. They could see the grass on the neighbouring hillside as it glimmered in the sunshine, and could even smell the grass blades as they swayed in the breeze. The paddock belonged to another farmer, and they were not really meant to go there, but the thick grass was green and they were hungry. The three billy goats Gruff soon headed off down the hillside toward the pastures of thick green grass. At the bottom of the hill they came across a large wooden bridge over a river which joined the two pastures. The fairy wrens had said that a nasty troll lived beneath the bridge, and he was known to get so angry he would eat little animals who tried to cross the bridge without permission. The goats were wary of going near the bridge, but they knew they had to cross it to get to the delicious-looking green grass in the neighbouring pasture. They decided that they should walk across one by one as quietly as they could, so as not to wake up the troll. The youngest billy goat got started to walking across the bridge quietly, but his hoofs made a noisy trip-trap sound, and before he knew it, the troll jumped up onto the bridge. The troll was much bigger and uglier than the goat had imagined, and he had horrible spiky teeth, big green googly eyes, horrible messy hair, and he was salivating profusely while he roared at the billy goat. "Who goes there, waking me up from my nap? I'll eat you alive unless you give me something for walking on my bridge." The billy goat cringed. He said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Troll, but I have nothing to give you. I'm so small I would not make a tasty meal. But my brother, who is larger than I, is coming across the bridge in a minute, and you could eat him. I'm sure he wouldn't mind." Said the troll. "Very well, then, you may pass." And the billy goat quickly ran across the bridge and onto the lush green field. The second billy goat stepped onto the bridge and started walking. His hoofs made the noisy sounds, trip-trap, trip-trap, and in an instant the nasty troll jumped up in front of him and roared with fearsome bad breath. "Who goes there, waking me up from my nap? I will eat you alive unless you give me something for walking on my bridge." The billy goat was startled, and fearfully he said, "I have been eating nothing but dirt, Mr. Troll, and my stomach is full of mud. My brothers and I are trying to reach the lush green grass in the other field just over there. We are hungry, and there's no grass left to eat in our field. My big brother, who is large and fat and full of milk, should be along here any minute. If you like, you could eat him instead. I'm sure he wouldn't mind." Said the troll. "I do not like to eat mud, but I do like fat goats full of milk. You may pass." And he looked deep into the billy goat's eyes and said with a grimace, "This time." And the billy goat yelped and quickly ran across the bridge to his brother. Then the last billy goat approached the bridge. He tiptoed up the stairs and onto the wooden boards. Beneath the bridge the river flowed. He began to walk along, inch by inch, barely making a sound. He was halfway along when the nasty troll jumped up and leered at the billy goat, reaching out to grab him as he yelled, "Who goes there, walking along my bridge? Are you the big fat billy goat who is full of milk and ready to eat?" And the billy goat said, "No, Mr. Troll, I'm the billy goat who is full of stale air. I let my brothers eat while I went hungry. But there is an enormous gigantic rabbit who is on his way here, and he will be travelling across your bridge any minute now. He is slow and fat and full of grass, and he will make a tasty meal. My brothers and I have been seeing him at night eating gigantic carrots with his huge teeth. He eats 100 carrots at a sitting. He is surely the best eating for you, Mr. Troll." Said the Troll. "I guess I can wait for a giant rabbit for my dinner then. You may pass." And the billy goat ran off to where his brothers were and began to eat the lush green grass. Before too long the billy goats had eaten half of the new field of lush green grass, and they were so full they lay down to have a nap. Just before nightfall the farmer who owned the pasture woke them up, clanging a saucepan with a huge stick. He yelled out, "This is private property, you billy goats. You better get going back to your own field. Go on, mush!" The billy goats Gruff jumped up from their naps and said to the farmer, "Mr. Farmer, we only came here because we were starving and there was no more grass to eat left on our field. If we go back there now, we could be eaten by the nasty Troll, because we always wake him up when we cross his bridge. He's so mean he thinks we have to give him something every time we walk on the bridge. Lack of food is really causing deterioration of everyone's mental health, Mr. Farmer, making us all grumpy and selfish and rude to each other. Can't you think of something to help us?" Said the farmer. "Give me a minute. I used to be the CEO of a computer company before I started grass farming. I might be able to think of something." The billy goats looked at the farmer kindly and blinked in unison, waiting patiently for him to speak again. Finally the farmer said, "Well, I see that you have two problems right now. The first is the nasty Troll. The second is you have no more grass to eat on your field. I think all these problems are easily solved, and I recommend you use the following items which I will give you now. Here, now take these, some wool offcuts, an old fruit cake, and these bags of cow dung. First of all, tie these pieces of wool to your hooves, and the Troll will not be able to hear you when you next walk across the bridge. If he does wake up and try to jump you, give him the fruit cake and then run. It will make him so sick he will never ask you for food to cross the bridge again." And then he added, "Trolls have a severe fruit intolerance. Fruit ferments in their guts, the bubbles harden, and it makes them feel so sick that they have stomach aches, pain and gas, and it will take him several days to feel better, but by then you will be safe. When you get back to your pasture, sprinkle the cow dung all over the field and wait until it has rained twice. The grass will grow so fast you will have a field in a very short time. When you start to eat the grass, make sure you collect one bag to give to the Troll next time you have to cross the bridge. You are welcome to return to get more cow dung as often as you like, but if I catch you eating my hybrid grass again, I will lock you all up in my barn and put you out to work on my farm." The billy goats were stunned by the kind, thoughtful, intelligent words of the farmer, and they thanked him and were really happy, and then they went off towards the bridge with the wool offcuts, the old fruit cake, and the bags of cow dung. They followed the advice of the farmer to the letter, and enjoyed many seasons of lavish green grass supply and peace in their meadow and the surrounding fields. The Troll started looking forward to seeing the billy goats and receiving his bag of grass. He never forgot how sick they made him with the fruit cake, and how much it had changed him. Now he made jokes about it with the goats. Today he brushes his hair daily, and even has his teeth checked. By the third season the grass grew so quickly that wildflowers started to grow, and a family of bees came in and started pollinating. A year after that 4 apple trees sprung up, and the Troll started coming to the billy goats' field to have picnics with them and play with the rabbits. The fairy wrens never said a bad word about the Troll or the goats again.